What up, Brigade fam? We are in today for DT. Coach Mike, Coach Emily.
Hey guys.
It's going to be the demo. Switching roles. I get to tell you what to do. All right, so what you're going to need to do first is grab a bar, grab a kettlebell, dumbbell, plate, whatever you got, you grab from the gym or you have at home already. We're going to go through a warm-up with it. First is body weight movement of an EMOM. So we'll demonstrate the movements first. On minute 1, you're doing 10 up-downs, and up-down is where Emily will come down to a top of a plank, come back up, standing, no jump. If you need to step back, you can. You don't have to hop back or up. Totally up to you as the athlete. And then on minute 2, we have 10 alternating groiners with the twist, aka just some good Spider-Man lunges, getting in, open up the hips, quads, all that fun stuff. So making sure we alternate between that. So we'll go ahead and get the clock started.
Is that an okay angle?
First, up downs, 2, 1, working. So we're just getting some blood flow, promoting some heat to the muscles, the core, a lot of pulling. So we need to be dynamic, hamstrings are firing, make sure the hips come all the way through to full extension. Up downs, get our wrists nice and loose, forearms nice and loose. So keep those things in mind. We start talking about grip as well with the hook grip when we get on the barbell. If you have a barbell, kind of hard to hook grip a kettlebell or dumbbell, but you get the idea. So we should be around 10. About halfway through that EMOM, then we'll rest the remaining time. How you feel?
Warm?
Warm.
I didn't know it was 10. I forgot that part.
It's all good. It's all good. So now we're going to the groiners. You can go ahead and, if you want to, just make your own flow before we start the next minute. Moving around. Feel where your body's at the moment. Going in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have alternating groiners for 10. We add a little skip if you want. We can also go into a position of the step back just like we did for the up downs if you don't want to be too dynamic yet. Toes are a little ginger at the moment. But just one of the biggest focus is her hip is driving to the ground, elbow to the instep as much as possible, getting as open as much as we can. Just like the up downs when you hit 10, stand up, kind of flow, do your thing. We got 30 seconds. Boom. Good, good. So we'll do that again. 1 time each. Minute 1, minute 2. Getting loose. Yeah. So on this next up downs, I'm going to have Emily challenge on her up down to really drive that floor away, really engaging the upper back a little bit, just to maximize more warm up for what's to come of engaging the lats on the bar or whatever you're using. Cool. Take that challenge.
Take it.
3, 2, 1, and working. So at the top of that, yeah, you can notice she's got a little bit of a curve to her thoracic spine, upper back. So we're actively pushing that floor away so that later when we're going the other direction, we have that blood flow and range of motion ready to go. Perfect. Again, if you want to step back, you can. We're not going to stress that too much. DT doesn't involve burpees, unless you have some evil coaches of the past. So we're at the halfway point, resting it out, getting ready. Again, if you want to go through a flow, using the groiners, getting the shoulders warmed up during the remaining resting time, feel free to do that. What are we feeling today on your hips, shoulders?
My hip is a little bit annoyed with me, so spending a little extra time on that hip.
Right.
Hip circles.
Take this time on the EMOMs. They're so awesome. You don't have all this time to just pack it all into 50 seconds. You can use just 30 seconds of what's to work and then get in a flow. So now we're into our EMOM second piece. Back to the Spider-Man, the alternating groiners. So she's adding in more of that twist, really getting that trunk rotation. Focus on the knee. So on her left side, for you, right side, she's driving that knee out. Really engaging the hips, making sure we're creating torque. And then she's driving still the opposite leg that's behind towards the ground. So we want to maximize all of this musculature of our lower body to get loose. Should be about that halfway point of 10. We're going to go straight into the next piece. So this is where you need your barbell, your kettlebell, plate, your child, I don't know, whatever you got at home. So in 15 seconds, let's go ahead and get in position with whatever apparatus you have. So Emily's going to grab her bar. That's what we're using for the demo. And we're going to do Romanian deadlifts. I want you to look first, knees unlock, the upper back stays the same, back stays the same throughout the whole motion, closing the car door. So as low as you can go. If you want to go mid-shin, great. Stopping at the knee is great too. Stand back up. We get 4 more. Full range. Perfect. So hip and shoulder stays in locked, straight position. So if we had a PVC pipe, it would stay in position for it. So after those, we have hang muscle clean. One thing I want to notice is where the barbell is on her hip. She's going to stay here, establish the hang, come back to that position. Fast hands, fast elbows. Yeah, perfect. Look at that speed on the bar already. She is ready for DT. 2 more, just like it. For those that have dumbbells, kettlebells, you're not going to do this next one. You're going to do presses instead. For those with the barbell, elbow punches. What we're looking for is as high as possible. Open up the wrist, the lats even more. If we need to go to the back rack, by all means do that. Keep that full grip. Open it up and down. So that's the minute. So now we're going to a shoulder overhead complex. 5 strict press. 1, 2, she's doing perfect. Keeping that bar close. Shaving the nose and the chin. Stacked overhead, you can see all the way over, from overhead to the mid-foot. After 5, we got 5 push press, just adding the dip. Dip, drive, and go. Perfect. She's doing a good job of driving the knees out while going forward, staying flat-footed as long as possible. And then we have the push jerk for the final piece for 5. Dip, drive, and then catch. Perfect. 3 more. 2. And 1. Perfect. Cool. So now you have a little time. You can set the barbell down, rest a little bit, because we can get kind of packed in more this time around, getting that DT feel here. Feeling like DT already? A little bit. So now we're going back to minute 1. Let her go as speed as she wants. 5 RDLs, 5 hang muscle cleans, and then 5 elbow punches. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, really driving home through the heels, the midfoot to squeeze the glutes at the top. Don't forget about your quads on deadlifts. That's your finishing to jump. Get explosive. Notice her bar getting back to the hip every time, hitting the upper thighs at the release. Nice high elbow catch, elbow punches. Yeah, switch it up. Make it your thing on the elbow punches. There's no right or wrong. You could also do this double time at the same time. Those feel a little funky sometimes too. After 10 of those, 5 of those, excuse me, we'll go into the next minute. If you want to hold on to the bar, you can. She's getting set. This is actually a good resting point when we get into DT. Instead of dropping the bar, just stay on those shoulders. We'll talk about that soon enough. 5 strict press. 1, 2, 3, 4, solid. 5, push press, going. 1, 2, 3, look at her feet, staying solid on the ground and exploding. Perfect, and the catch. 5 push jerks. Perfect. 1.
Just kidding.
Oh, she threw in a fault. 2, 3, 2 more. 4, 1 more here. 5. Excellent. Yeah, so want to look out for that faulting motion. We have the rest period and the rest of this minute. She threw in a fault of that hinging, bringing the elbows down, but that is not ideal for going overhead. So just remember to stay vertical torso in our push jerks and push presses. One more time with this alternating EMOM. We're almost there. How you feel?
Good.
Getting warm. Here we go. 5 RDLs, 5 hang muscles, and 5 elbow punches. On your final time through, let's make sure that speed is crisp on that hang muscle clean. It's almost time to get ready to go, so we want to make sure we're punching through. Perfect. Perfect. Move with purpose. Perfect, and then we want the elbow punches maximum, as much as you can. Fire it up. 5 total, and then we'll rest, place our barbells down after the 5 inside.
Good call.
Here we go.
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, save that front rack. You got plenty of your front rack time coming. Kind of while we're still resting in between, leave those fingers relaxed when we get to the overhead. Don't death grip your bar, because that's just going to fatigue you out even more. while we're doing the deadlift and the hang power cleans, this is your time to rest in that front rack to overhead. Quick little tip while we have the time. So now we're at minute 2. RDLs, push press, strict press, push jerk. I just want you to do more deadlifts. Making it too much more reps on there. Yeah, don't push out in front. Make sure we're getting all the way overhead. The same rule applies when we do the push press. You want to keep it over the head and not finishing out in front. And then the same will happen for the dip. Remember vertical torso that she's still demonstrating. How about the one where you push jerk, but you're coming down before you stand up after the second dip? Yeah, and then lower the bar down. Yeah, none of that. Very fast, but not a good rep. So that's our warm up for the EMOM 6. And then at EMOM 4 previously. We're nice and warm. Let's talk about what we're going to get into for the strength, and we'll talk about DT at the same time. Awesome, thank you, Matter. So here's what we got. Come closer. When it's that warm up that we just performed is going to have a little bit of time for you to also include this building to a heavy 5-rep hang, power clean, and a push jerk. You are holding on to the barbell the entire time, so essentially it's a complex. Start light, even an empty barbell, building weight throughout this 15-minute window. We're going to go through the progressions more than we did in the EMOM. Then we have the hero workout of the day, DT. Used to love this workout a ton, still love this workout, but I've done it a lot. It's 5 rounds per time, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and then 6 push jerks. This can be done with a bar, kettlebell, dumbbell, backpack, whatever you have around that's going to help you work out. If you have a bar.
What do they do with the building to a heavy 5-rep if they don't have a lot of weight at home?
Work on some technique.
Yeah, technique work. That's a good point.
Could they go to a 10-rep?
Yeah, let's do that. That kind of stinks before DT.
Yeah.
10 rep would be a great option.
DT, but
The weight on that DT is 155, 105, 115, 75. Or weight you can hold on to for majority of the complex. We'll talk about how to break it down in just a second. But yeah, great suggestion. If you don't have a lot of weight or you have a single unilateral piece of equipment, increase this up by double to 10. Play around with that. All right, so we're going to get into, I like how we're walking this back like it's so precious.
Same with DT maybe. They could do, if they had just like an empty bar or lightweight, they could do more rounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about.
So now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of the 5-rep max. We have Emily establish the hang position. Make sure we take the time, like she just performed. Flat back is still there. She grabbed the barbell and stood it up. Now we are in the hang position, anywhere from the high hang or the low hang. We're going to do 5 hang power cleans all in a row. There's 2. There's 3. Notice we're still driving through the legs, still keeping the barbell close, and then elbows receiving high on the catch. So now we have 5 push jerks. We're just going to do it regular tempo, no holds, no pauses at this time. Making sure we're being aggressive to catch the weight in the second squat. We're not following the bar to press out. Perfect. And then last one here. Good. And rest. So now we're going to get into some pauses and holds. What I'll have Emily do in a second is 5 more hang power cleans, but this time to a push jerk, holding in the catch of the power, holding in the push jerk overhead. 2 seconds on both positions, so establishing that hang. And clean, hold, and stand. And then push, jerk, dip, drive, go. Hold, and stand. Good. And we'll go for 4 more. Hold, stand, breathe, making sure we're getting in that position solid. And go. Hold, stand. Excellent. 3 more. And go. Good. Up. And dip, drive. Hold, stand. Good. 2 more. Looking strong, way to jump fully through. She's finishing everything through a full range of motion, jumping through, same as the push jerk. She almost went backwards on that one. That's important. It's not the funniest or the greatest of feelings, but that bar means just going in the right trajectory. So last one here, and then we'll take a break, and up. Good. Woo, she's getting warm. She's getting loose. So the next progression, we'll do the same thing, but now to cycle the bar 1 second holds, quick transition to the overhead, and then stand. We're not going to hold it for too long though. Let's just go 3 reps. Just
So
3.
no reset, just going straight out of the.
Yep, so we'll have a 1 second hold after the clean, but then coming straight up into that push jerk, kind of getting into the mindset of DT and even this 5 rep hang power clean to push jerk. So we have the hang, power clean, hold 1, and straight up jerk 1, and stand. Perfect, 1. Let's go 2 more. In the warm up, we'll do this for 5, guys. 2. I don't want to wear my demo girl out too much, right? And here's 3. Good, good, awesome. And rest. So now we're going to put it all together. No pauses, no holds. If you want to load the bar up, we can show how to establish this with a loaded bar. Again, this time is included with your 15 minutes. So we don't want to move you too fast. We also don't want you to have 0 time getting prepped either. So, feet, where are they standing? Underneath the hips, the barbell as close to you as possible, establishing that loaded deadlift position solid. Now we're locked in, performing the hang power cleans, no pauses, straight into it. There's 1, keeps it close. There's 2, she's really using that hook grip on the clean, releasing it on the jerk. There's 2 places you can reset it. We'll talk about that in just a second. Last one here. And we're going to give her time to rest. Perfect. Cool. How was that?
It's getting a little bit warm.
Social distancing. Elbow taps. So, hook grip. There's 2 places to go. We can either hook grip all the way through and keep it, so you don't have to reset it, or hook grip on the clean, release it on the jerk, catch it as you come down, either at the shoulders or at the hips. Depending on your skill set and where you're at on barbell cycling, it's going to be easier from the hip versus, from the shoulder first, then to the hip, then just elevator it down, hope you catch the bar. Okay? So we'll demo one of those each. Let's go with hook grip maintained throughout. Feels weird, but you don't have to think about it. Another thing that we have hook grip release on the jerk, catching at the shoulder or the hip.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
We can't see you.
I'm going to turn towards them a little bit. Here you go. Reestablishing that hook grip. Flashing, and then back.
Woo!
Perfect. And you can rest.
You
Perfect.
gotta practice that. I don't know where I do it.
Probably train different ways for
Yeah,
sure.
it depends on the workout for sure.
Yeah.
I'll do it here.
So that's the 5 rep max. Again, you're going to do that for 15, 18 minutes max, building through that same progression we just led through. Now for the fun, DT. Let's talk about it. 12-9-6, deadlifts first, hang powers, push jerk, or really essentially a shoulder overhead. The deadlift, we are suggesting breaking at 11. There's no reason to go 12 unbroken unless you're Stephanie Sonny McGuffey, who loves this workout more than anyone. But most of us humans are going to break on 11, reestablish, do the deadlift for number 12 directly into the hang power clean. And for even some of us who may break up our hang power clean on number 8, we need to keep the shoulder overhead unbroken. That's our fastest and less reps in this time window. So let's pretend Emily has done X amount of reps. We're at 9, 10, and 11. So here we go with 9 deadlifts.
9 deadlifts?
Yes, ma'am. So she's got 9, 10. On 11, she'll drop. Take it out. Stand tall. Got to do the deadlift anyway. 12. There's the hang. She's got 1. Let's pretend she's done 7, 8, 9. And then we're going overhead. This is where we need to keep that barbell in position. There's 2 resting places. My favorite is overhead to get tight, or on the shoulders for the 6 push jerks. Now, instead of dropping because you're tired and woe is me, straight into the deadlifts. Get it going. If you already have a resting period anyway, after 11, that's what you're suggested. So that was 9, 10, 11. She dropped, or she kept going. She's beast mode. I can do this too, unbroken. So now we have 12, and then going, so on and so forth. Cool. That is DT. 5 rounds, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, 6 push jerks, shoulder overhead is hard.
Do you want to show them a couple of our objects?
Oh gosh, here we go, yeah.
I'm going to have Coach Mike
She got a workout.
I'm gonna put it back on in now. So you can, if you have a med ball or any kind of object like that, or a sandbag, we can demonstrate a couple of things. Tried it with a dumbbell earlier as well. So we'll just show you kind of a couple. You can see you're going to be making adjustments and modifications, guys. This is going to make you better at everything long term. Making these variations and adjustments is a good thing. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. What's up?
Okay. All right, so Mike's going to deadlift the med ball. I'm going to have him go ahead and do 2 of those, 2 hang power cleans for me. Awesome. So just catching in that power position, trying to keep the laces all in one angle, and then he'll go into that shoulder to overhead, making sure he pushes his head through the window there, just like always, okay? Regardless of what object you're using. And then we can try a couple reps. You want to do with the dumbbell?
Sure. Dumbbell it up.
So if you have a single dumbbell, and that might be the amount of weight that seems appropriate, you could do it one-sided and mess around with your rep scheme a little bit. You could do a double DT, which would be 10 rounds if you have something lighter. So you can mix it up however is appropriate for what you have and where you are. And then he would get his hang cleans, and then you get that shoulder to overhead. I tried it earlier holding the dumbbell a little differently, so there's a lot of different ways you can do it. We're just wanting to put you guys through a similar stimulus, work through these movements. That was good. Did you do that yet?
Nope. Grab the plate.
Backpack works, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
backpack, plate, got all kinds. And you definitely tag us and show us what you're doing. We want to see if you have something unusual that you're modifying with. This can be half the fun, you guys. Awesome. And so you'll just have to work around with your hands, your grip on different objects and items. Got the backpack as well. You can tap to the ground. Stand tall, squeeze your hips at the top, and then curl it, jumping and catching, whipping yourself in the face. You might want to strap them down first, and then driving overhead, same thing. So you're applying the same principles and training methodologies, but just using whatever you have available. And then Mike's going to finally go ahead and give me the 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
Just kidding. And let's see how that clean looks. Nice. So this would be,
I hate doing this one. Here comes shoulder overhead.
the short overhead can even be done with a sandbag. It's going to require that's shoulder stabilization. If that was a heavy sandbag, you could use something lighter. We just wanted to give you guys a show to wrap this up. All right, have fun with it. We'll see you on Zoom.
Friday, 4 times.
Bye, guys.